Welcome to Undo and Renew. I'm Regina, and tonight we're going to focus on the earth element, first in a series of the 5 elements. So we're going to really be addressing how we connect to the earth, releasing and feeling supported by the earth, and come to find a little bit more groundedness. So the first pose we're going to take tonight is a supported child's pose. You'll want a bed cushion, some sort of pillow to put underneath you. And you'll take the feet together, knees wide apart. Bring the cushion between the legs. Make sure the toes are untucked and you're nice and relaxed on the dorsal side of the feet. And then you can just walk yourself out into a gentle child's pose. Allow the head and neck to relax onto the cushion. You can place one cheek on the cushion. I'll let you know when we're halfway through so that you can lift the head gently and look to the other side. So go ahead and just find a nice supported child's pose here. With each inhalation, allowing the body to expand. With each exhalation, releasing to gravity, feeling the support of the earth. And as you settle into this child's pose, becoming more aware of the breath, releasing on the exhalation to feel the support of the earth. And here in child's pose, begin to become aware of where your tailbone is in space. See if you can draw your awareness on an inhalation all the way down to the tailbone, down into the root. On the exhalation, see if that tailbone can just gently start releasing a little bit more towards the feet. And you're about halfway through the pose here, so feel free to gently lift and pick up the head. Place the other cheek onto the pillow. And gently relaxing back into the breath and the pose. I'm just going to open with a little reading by Orit Sengupta. She's a yogi. She's studied many masters. She writes that the mind rests at the place where the body touches the earth. Let the weight of the body sink into this place. The mind rests at the place where the body touches the earth. Let the weight of the body sink into this place. Let the body sink into earth. Feel the downward movement flowing through the body. As the roots of a tree deepen and widen into the earth, so the branches expand into the sky. As rooting is mastered, the body becomes light and loose and moves without effort. Go ahead and find a few more breaths here. Just allowing the mind to rest at that place where your body touches the earth. Just to become aware of where the body is touching the earth and the support of the ground below you. And from your child's pose, gently start walking the hands back to the shoulders. Draw yourself back up. You can take any sort of hip circles here that feel nice. A little movement. And then gently find your way to a seated position, either sitting on a block or a meditation cushion or a towel rolled up, to allow the hips to, the pelvis to tilt forward towards the feet so that the knees can come to the mat. If this isn't quite available to you, perhaps one leg is quite tight, it doesn't want to come to the ground, place something under it so you feel that support. The body will relax when it feels supported, so make sure that if the knees are up in any fashion, that you just put some cushions underneath there. And then go again to where the body is touching the earth. Feel the ground beneath you and just keep tuning into the breath. You might bring a hand to the belly, feeling how the belly expands as we deepen the breath. Feeling that sense of lightness on the inhalation as the body expands with air, and on the exhalation, feeling yourself finding the earth below you with gravity. So we're going to focus a lot on the earth meridians. In Chinese medicine, there's 12 meridians. 2 of them are called the stomach spleen meridian, and they represent the earth element. So we're going to do a little self-massage tonight. We're going to start by coming down on the insides of the hips, and then the insides of the lower leg, and down into the feet. We'll do this with using your elbow, just sinking into, this is the spleen meridian, sinking your weight in and then unbending the elbow. So you can do this with the breath. Exhale, just leaning into it. See if you can find 3 to 4 places to lean into before you get to the knee. And then draw yourself back up and come into the other side. So you're just leaning with the elbow into that inner line of the upper leg and unfolding the elbow. So this is the spleen meridian. Go ahead and go back to the other side once you finish. Back to the first side. And the spleen is this sort of magical organ that helps oversee all the enzymes in the body that help turn food into energy. We're just going to open this up with a little massage. You're back to the second side. And then draw yourself back up. We're just going to brush the hands along the inner calf, and then come into the arch of the foot, starting with whatever foot is in front, just pressing and leaning into the arch of the foot. So I'm just walking my thumbs up the arch of the foot. Take that a few times. And then you find in this metatarsal arch is the beginning of the kidney meridian. So we're just going to put our thumbs there and just lean into that point. That's the point where we draw earth energy. It's the only acupressure point on the bottom of the feet. And then go ahead and squeeze the nail bed right outside the big toe and squeeze the nail bed of the second toe. And then switch the placement of the feet. So whatever foot is behind, bring that one to the front. Come back to the knee. We're just going to brush that energy down the leg to the foot. And then in the arch, pressing our weight forward into the arch. Try to go ahead and give yourself that little massage a few times. And then find that bubbling spring point here in the bottom of the foot. We call this the metatarsal arch. Place your thumbs in there and go ahead and press into that point. Take a few breaths. So you don't even really need to use muscular action here. You can just lean your body weight into it. And then go ahead and press around the nail bed of the big toe and the nail bed of the second toe, first little toe. Beautiful. Come back to your seat. Find symmetry here. We'll walk the right fingertips out just a little bit. Let the left arm come up and over, starting to open up through the side of the rib cage here. This is the spleen meridian, comes up the inside of the legs and then around the outside of the ribs. So you can open up here with the intercostals. Take another full breath in and a full breath out. Leaning into that right hand, but also pushing the floor away so that you can get a little bit more lift. And then go ahead and turn the palm towards the ceiling and see if the heart wants to turn a little bit towards the ceiling. Perhaps the head starting to look up. We'll take a few more breaths here. Keep that left hip grounded with your right hand pressing into the floor. So you're leaning towards the right, but you're also pressing the right floor, keeping that left hip grounded. Take another full breath in and a full breath out. And then go ahead and lead with the left arm. Place the left fingertips onto the mat beside you. Inhale the right arm up this time. So first palm down, leaning in so we keep that right hip grounded. Start reaching over to the left side with the right arm. Opening up the right side chain of the body. And then gently turn the palm to face the ceiling. Perhaps it's going to help you lift the heart a little bit more open. Perhaps the head turns to look toward the ceiling or just where the ceiling and wall meet. Keep pressing into the left hand. Keep the right hip grounded as you reach toward the left. Working with the breath on the inhale to extend in the pose. Create a little space between the ribs. One more breath here. And then all the way back. Bring the hands just on top of the thighs, right inside the kneecap, and we're just gonna rub this point, the spleen point called Joy of Living. And then we'll come forward through our tabletop. Take any movement that feels good. And then gently find your way to standing. And here in standing, see if you can find that little spot of wall for yourself. We won't come to lean on it yet, but you're gonna want it nice and close. And go ahead and take a sip of water now if you'd like to have a sound track for this class. I sent a link earlier in the email with a Spotify playlist. Go ahead and start your music now. And when you're ready to join me, take the feet just slightly wider than hip distance. And we're just gonna start making circles with the hip. find out where this edge is. And then pause and take the circle the opposite direction. We're just seeing where the edge is for now. And then see if you can make some figure eights here. And start to bring your awareness back to that tailbone as if you're drawing the figure eight, not with the top of the pelvis, but with the tailbone. And you can start to work here into some free movement. Perhaps your playlist makes you want to dance to the beat. Go ahead and just use this as your dance move. Moving back and forth between drawing circles, taking a figure eight, and becoming aware of the tailbone as if the tailbone is doing the action. The tailbone is drawing the circle. Go ahead and find a few more rotations, moving into this. And then notice when you get to the edge of the circle, if it feels the same. And if there's anywhere sticky or tight, just stay in that edge and see if you can open it up a little bit. So if you get to a part that doesn't feel circular, just start staying there and press into it. See if you can just draw it a little bit open. And then gently see if you can make the circle. So go back from, if you're making figure eight, make a circle. See if you can draw the circle smaller and smaller and smaller until you find the center point and pause. And then take the spiral the other direction, making it smaller and then bigger. And then pause and draw it in one more time, making that circle with the tailbone smaller and smaller and smaller until you find the center. And then just notice what that feels like, if that feels any different than how you might usually hold your pelvis. And we're going to come to the wall now. And we're just going to find the wall behind us. Just lean into the wall a little bit. You can take your feet out a little bit here. Keep the knees nice and soft. And we're just going to roll ourselves into a forward fold. So inhale your hands up, your arms up, get nice and long, press into the feet, feel where your feet touch the earth. And then we're just going to roll down, trying to feel each spot of the back along the wall until we can reach down for the feet and allow the head to rest. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Bring your fingertips to the outside of the big toe, and we're just going to sweep the hands up the inside of the thighs as we roll back up the wall. Hands inside the groin and then along the rib cage. We're tracing up the spleen line. Now we're going to trace down the stomach line. Lean into the wall. Bring your hands onto your face gently and then just draw the hands along the face, along the neck, underneath the collarbones, down the center of the body, and then down the front of the legs and out the middle toe. Lean into the fold. Take a full breath in. And on your next exhale, we're going to roll up. Draw the hands on the inside of the legs, along the groin, along the outside edges of the ribs. Bring the hands to the top of the eyes, and then sweeping along the face, collarbone, front of the body, along the front of the legs, leaning back down, out the second toe. One more like that. Drawing yourself up, sweeping the hands along the spleen line inside the legs, inner groin, outside of rib cage. Hands over the eyes. Sweeping down the face, outside of the neck, center line of the body, center of the legs, and out the second toe. This time we're going to stay in the fold, So really allow yourself to press the tail into the wall. As you press the tail into the wall, see if you can find any relaxation in the head and neck. Keep the knees bent as deeply as you need. Keep pressing the feet into the floor. Keep pressing the tail into the wall. Allow the head and neck to release. Connecting here to the tailbone, to the root. Keep pressing into the feet and just sensing where that tail is in space, in the space of your body. Here at the tail, at the bottom of the spine, we refer to this area as being ruled by the Muladhara chakra, the root chakra. Take another few breaths here in this forward fold. And then you're going to come up by pressing into the feet and gently, seeing if you can again roll each part of the back separately onto the wall. Once you arrive, roll the shoulders open and down the back. We're going to come into a supported squat here. So you can take your feet wide. You might have to come in and out to find a comfortable position. You can come in along the wall, just coming into a squat. And you're welcome also to grab a brick. So you can come down and then put a brick under you, or you might find that you can just press into the wall and find your squat here. This might bring you a little lower than you usually come. And what we want to try to achieve here is a little space between the tailbone and the rest of the spine by allowing the tail to sink towards earth. You're supported by the feet, but you're also supported by the wall, so you can get a little traction here in the tailbone. We're going to stay here for just about 5 more breaths. So see if on each of those breaths you can just connect to where the tail is, the tailbone, very bottom of the pelvis. And allow it to relax towards earth while the rest of the spine is pressed against the wall. So you get this spaciousness between the bones. Take one more full breath in and a full breath out. And then you can bring your hands to the mat. We'll move away from the wall here. So if you have your mat against the wall, go ahead and move the mat away from the wall. We're going to come down onto the back in a bridge prep pose. We just want to be far enough away from the wall that later you won't be too close that you can't get into the pose. So just move your mat away from the wall and then find your way down onto the back bridge prep. First, just take a moment to observe the earth below you. Roll onto one shoulder, draw the opposite shoulder blade up and over to the ear, and then draw it down the back. And then reach the fingertips towards the feet. So you have a little more extension in the arm and the shoulder blade is tucked. And then roll onto the other side, same thing. Shoulder blade up to the ear, draw it down the back, and then both palms are open towards the ceiling. We're going to take a series of bridge breath here. So we're going to just move the pelvis very gently. On the exhale, we're going to just press into the feet, draw the pelvis to come towards the face. Exhaling, drawing the belly button towards the spine. So the whole lower back expands onto the mat. Once you've expelled all the stale air, on the inhale, you're just going to gently tilt the pelvis towards the feet. Do it a little bit more than you might usually until you can connect with that tailbone. And then exhaling, drawing the belly button towards the spine, spine towards the mat. So this is a very small movement here, but it's a very profound movement. So we want to find our full extension here. On the exhale, pressing the belly button towards the spine, spine towards the mat, pressing into the feet just so we feel that tailbone lift ever so slightly. And then on the inhale, as we tilt the pelvis towards the feet, see if we can again connect with that little tiny tailbone. Go ahead and work here with your own breath, making these movements into your full range of breath, as well as your full range of tilting and extending. So here we start to make a little pump to move that cranial sacral fluid up the spine and around the brain. And if you want to go a little bit deeper with this, on an exhale, you can engage Mula Bandha. You can draw the floor of the pelvis up to even expel more stale air and pause there after the stale air is completely out. Only then releasing the pose to find the inhale. We'll take about 4 more rounds here, nice and slowly, moving with the breath into the full capacity. Go ahead and take 1 more. And then release in the pose. And just notice what you notice. Close off the eyes for a moment. Bring the hands to the belly. And just notice any movement or sensations in the body. And then draw the right knee up, bringing the right knee towards the armpit, and extend the left leg long on the mat. We're going to come into expel the wind pose here, and bring one hand to the outside lower knee and one hand just on the inside of the knee. So that here you're holding 2 acupressure points. On the outside, right below the knee, on the outside of the calf, is one, and then the other spleen point is on the inside of the knee, joy of living, where we massaged earlier. So see if you can keep your hands there as you draw the knee towards you. With each exhalation, you're drawing the knee in, and on the inhalation, you might feel the body expand, and see if you can keep the weightedness of the leg heavy. To keep drawing the knee towards the armpit. You're about halfway through this side, and see if as you draw the knee towards you, keep bringing the knee closer, you can start to feel where that tailbone is. Noticing if that area of the body is relaxed or holding any tension. Keep drawing the knee towards you. Go ahead and take one more full breath in and a full breath out. And then bend the left knee up. We're gonna put the right knee on top of the left, taking a twist here. Now you have a couple of choices. You can really work on whatever your favorite twist is. We're gonna be in it for quite a little while. I encourage you to bring your pillow to the side we're gonna twist to first, which is gonna be the left side. So I'm gonna take twisted roots to stay with our theme of earth. So if you'd like to take twisted roots with me, you just stack the knees, and perhaps you can even tuck the right foot behind the left ankle. You can also just keep it untucked. You can come into a cobbler twist or a double leg twist. Press into the foot though and draw your hips a little over to the right before you go. The arms can come out to either side, and we're just going to take the legs over to the left. With each exhalation, letting gravity work to bring you deeper into the pose. And then expanding the breath to move deeper into the twist. So here again, we're opening up the side chain of the body along that spleen meridian. So having the legs supported with a pillow is going to allow the legs to relax more. They don't have to hold themselves up, which is going to allow the side body to open more. And if you haven't already, you can start to gently look toward the right, letting the head just be heavy, find its way to look over the right shoulder. Don't push it there, just let the head relax into it, perhaps moving a little bit more in each exhalation to look toward the right. And with each exhalation, just allowing gravity to do the work. Drawing yourself down, opening up to the right side body, perhaps bringing your left arm on top of the right thigh to give it a little extra weight to the legs. And then just keep working with the breath, noticing what happens on every inhalation along this right side body. You're going to be here about 10 more breaths. So perhaps the left hand can give the right thigh a little more weight. Perhaps the neck and head looking a little bit deeper over to the right. And see if you can make these last few breaths even deeper. Releasing to the support of earth below you on the exhalation. And if you're using your left hand to give weight to the leg, go ahead and draw the hands out on either side of you. Bring yourself back up on an inhalation. Unwind whatever twist you've taken. Bring the feet up, lift the pelvis up so you can find center again, and then we're going to draw the knees towards the chest. And then bring your hands just below the kneecaps on the outside edge. And we're going to take some knee circles here. So just allowing the legs to open up and then drawing them towards you. And then go ahead and change direction. And then pause and bring both legs towards you. Just a few breaths here. Again, with each exhalation, noticing what happens if you draw the knees in. Where is the tailbone in space? That physical area of Muladhara, where is that? In the body. Go ahead and take a few more breaths like that. As you inhale, expanding. As you exhale, just drawing the knees a little closer in. And then go ahead and extend. Bring both feet back down to the mat. Draw the left knee towards you, extend the right leg. So inside hand is just above the kneecap, outside hand is just below it. Just giving an extra little stimulation here to these earth meridians that run down the legs. On each exhalation, drawing the knee a little bit closer to the armpit. Keeping that right leg heavy. Opening up in the inner groin. Just keep working with this opening, drawing the knee towards you on the exhalation. Taking just a few more breaths here, really extending through the right leg is nice and heavy. Draw that left knee towards you. And then from here, moving into your twist. Releasing the hold on the left leg. You want to take twisted roots, stacking the left knee over the right. Cobbler twist, you could just bring the left ankle on top of the right knee. Or you can extend through the left leg. Go ahead and if you want to take the full twisted roots, tuck the left foot behind the right ankle. Press into the foot to move the hips a little over to the left this time as we take the twist to the right. Allowing the body to feel heavy. Having a bolster underneath the legs so they feel supported. And then perhaps using that right hand on top of the left thigh to give a little extra weight to the legs. Using the breath to open up the chain of the left side of the body. Noticing how the breath helps open up the space between each little rib. And then perhaps begin looking over the left shoulder. Letting the head grow heavy. On each exhalation, looking a little bit more to the left. And then just settling in and letting the breath and gravity do all the work. Taking about 10 more breaths here, so just noticing where you're at. Perhaps the head and neck can begin to relax a little bit more to the left. Don't lose the expansiveness of the breath. Beautiful, letting gravity do all the work here. All you have to do is let go. Letting this last few breaths be your most expansive yet. Coming out of the pose on an inhalation, unwinding the legs from whatever twist you've taken, pressing into the feet to lift the pelvis. Draw the knees towards you and just rock a little side to side. And we're going to take roll-ups from the shoulders to the tail, so you can just gently bring your fingertips behind the thighs and just gently giving yourself a back massage. Once again, gravity is going to do all the work for you. And noticing if there's any part of the spine that doesn't feel rounded. If there's a flat spot, see if you can stay there and round that part of the back. Go ahead and take 2 or 3 more rounds here. Awesome. We're going to come into a reclined butterfly, and we're going to take a little while to get here. So depending where you are when you're in seated butterfly, if your knees are up, bring some blocks or some pillows so that you can place them under your knees. And then see if you can use a pillow behind you. If you're limited props, you might have to use your pillows underneath your knees and then lay on the mat. Either one's fine. But the legs and the groin, we're going to be here for a little while, and it's going to open a lot more easily if we can support the legs. So if your knees aren't coming all the way down, put something underneath the knees. Or perhaps if you're really lucky and you have a lot of pillows and bolsters, you can have something both underneath the knees and behind the back. Okay, so just have your props handy. I'm going to turn this way. I'm going to give you an option of interlacing the toes. So I know this is a little small on the screen, but what I'm doing is bringing my feet together and just bringing the toes into the negative space, the space between the toes. So see if, once you have your prop set up, see if you can play with this. Just weaving the toes together. Now, it can be a little bit intense, but all of our meridians end in those nail beds of the toes and the fingers, so we can really stimulate the flow of energy in the body. And then here we are with our spleen meridian nice and open here. So let's just go ahead and from the hips come down along the inside of the legs. We're going to take some hand positions in this reclined butterfly, and I'm just going to show you where those hand positions are now so that when you're in the pose, you can find them easily. The first one in reclined butterfly is that we'll bring our hands inside the hip creases. Okay, and we'll just gently rest the hands there. So this is the crease where the leg bends. Okay, that'll be the first hand position. I'll guide you into all of these. The second one is going to be right below the rib cage. So here's the bottom of my rib cage, and I'm just going to gently place the hands there. And the third one will be just along the collarbones. And you can, depending how your arms rest, you can cross your hands to the wrist and place them on the collarbones, or you can just have the fingertips along collarbones, whatever's most comfortable. So go ahead and find your way into this reclined butterfly. Bring the soles of the feet together. Play around with interweaving the toes. If that's not available to you today, that's fine. Just see what you can do to keep the soles of the feet together. Make sure the knees or the legs are supported with something so that you can relax into the pose. And then you can go ahead and just roll yourself onto your back. If the neck and head are hanging off the edge of the bolster, see if you can bring something underneath so the chin is tucked a little towards the chest. Take a few breaths here and then draw your hands just on that hip crease. So the heel of my hand is on the bony part, the iliac crest of the pelvis, and the fingertips are just relaxed in that hip crease. And here, just begin to relax into the pose. So with each exhalation, allowing the legs to feel heavy. Breathing into the area underneath the hands and the hip crease, allowing the pelvis to feel heavy. Breathing into the belly, allowing the lower back and the belly to feel heavy. Breathing into the heart, allowing the shoulders to feel heavy. Breathing up into the throat, allowing the neck to relax. And then breathing up into the center of the mind. And there finding our Chitta Kasha, our screen of imagination. And see if you can bring into your imagination, onto that Chitta Kasha screen, the last time you remember having your feet in the mud or the sand or some barefooted place where the feet were connecting with the earth. See if you can just remember when that last time was. And if you don't have a recent memory, then just imagine. Imagine sinking your bare feet into some nice red mud, squeezing the toes, feeling the coolness of earth. And tuning into those sensations. The sensations of the feet connecting to the dirt, the grass, the sand, the mud. And then you can start to gently move your hands, keeping everything exactly as it is, everywhere else in the body, but just drawing your hands up so they're just below the breasts, above the bottom ribs. And staying with that centering thought of your feet squishing around in the earth. Breathe into this place underneath the ribs, underneath the breasts, into the bottom of the ribs. And notice any sensations either underneath the hands or other places in the body. As you just keep visualizing this sense of walking the earth barefooted, this connection to the earth. And start to think of those qualities of earth, actual qualities of the dirt, the soil, the loam. What are the sensations? Is it comforting? Is it nourishing? Take another few breaths here with the hands at the bottom of the rib cage. So we're just again moving along these meridians. You're still on the spleen meridian. And we'll move the hands up to the collarbones. So you can cross the hands at the wrists, have the hands opened along the collarbones, or if that doesn't feel comfortable, just bring the palms same hand to same collarbone. And try both so you can see which one you really like. Different body types are gonna like one or the other more. And staying with that visual of putting your feet into the mud or the sand. Play around with imagining and remembering what it feels like to press in and feel supported. Really pressing in and allowing Earth to support you. Breathing into the hands that are placed along the collarbones. And just really putting together all those qualities of Earth. The sensations, the moisture, the coolness, the nourishment, the stability, the grounding. And just allow the arms to open on either side of you. Staying here in this reclined butterfly for just a minute more. But allowing the shoulders to open on either side as the heart is supported. And remembering that the mind rests where the body connects to the earth. So just feel the support of the earth. Feel everywhere where you're connected to the ground right now. We'll take just a few more breaths here. To come out of this pose, you're going to want to lean into your arms, but first you can reach down and draw the knees closed. And then bring your lower arms alongside you and press up as you draw the chin towards the chest, press into the hands and the arms. If that doesn't feel available, you can also roll up the bolster to one side. The inner groin might feel a little stretched, so you're welcome to take a little windshield wiper here. Any movement you need to remove stiffness. And then you're going to want your block or your meditation cushion to find a comfortable seat once again. And if you don't have a block or cushion, that's okay. You can do this without it. But it does make, there's a little bit more movement if you can lift the hips. You can go a little bit further into the pose. So if you do have a block or a cushion, come to be seated on it. And we're going to bring the left foot back as far as we can underneath the thigh. And what we're doing is going to stack the knees. Okay, so go ahead and lift up your right leg. You can just roll the joint out a little bit here, make a small circle. So this is called cow face pose. So see if you can bring your right knee onto the left. Now, if this isn't quite available, you can actually have the left leg extended and then bring the right knee onto it. And if that feels funny under the block, just take the block out. Okay, so either here in shoelace with the left leg extended and the right knee stacked on top, or in cow face pose with the right knee stacked over the left. We're going to come back into that self massage. So if you're in your shoestring with the left leg extended out, then you'll work just on the foot that's tucked in. We're going to start with the thumbs inside the arches. Now again, you want the body to be supported. So if for any reason you can almost get here, but one knee isn't quite there, just bring something underneath the knee to support it. So just massaging here along the arches. And I like to take the heel of my hand and just press the body weight into the arch. So we're going to do this in a couple different ways. So you can bring, I'm just pressing the heel of the hand, leaning my body weight in. No work at all. Gravity is doing everything. So you can walk your hands there and then go ahead and just walk them down toward the toes and back up. And then turn the hands so the palms are facing the camera, the front of the room, away from you. And then, so my hands are facing forward. I'm doing the same action, but facing forward so I can bring my hands to the calcaneus. So what this looks like is the inner edge of my hand is pressing into the edge of the calcaneus, the edge of that ankle bone. So here, again, so we were doing the arches like this, and all I did was turn my hands around and then lean into the ankle bone. So all the fascia, the connective tissue in the body, it connects to the outside and the bottom of this ankle, this calcaneus. So go ahead and just find some soothing compression here as you lean into one side and the other. And again, if this is not quite available, you can have the lower leg extended and just be working on one foot at a time. Wherever you are, find just a few more breaths here of joy, giving yourself a little foot massage. And then we're going to lean forward in this pose, and we're going to use this point of the calcaneus to press off from. So go ahead and just press your body weight symmetrically on both sides. See if you can find that first. Shoulder blades away from the ears. And then keep pressing and see if you can draw yourself a little forward. The heart is leading the way. Pressing, draw yourself forward. So I'm still pressing into that outside edge of the ankle, pressing myself forward. Now I'm going to get to a point where my hips come off. That's where I want to stop. I don't want my hips coming off the block. Once you get there, bring your bolster back down and just release onto the bolster. See if you can find steadiness in this pose. Once you're leaned into the bolster, you can bring the hands off the feet and just rest them wherever they're comfortable. If the head feels quite heavy, you can stack something up to hold the head. Again, what we want is support for the body to find release. And if you have no prop at all, you may find that you can still lean down and over and release onto the thighs. Staying with that breath, it allows you to find expansiveness and space in the body on the inhalation and allows you to release into the support all around you on the exhalation. And you're going to take just about 5 more breaths here. So if you're on a pillow, just go ahead and draw your hands underneath the shoulders and then use your hands to walk yourself back up. So you can do this without a block, but the block just gives you a little lift in the hip to move forward a little bit deeper into the fold. Go ahead and use your hands to lift the leg up, and we're gonna switch legs. So this time, if you were in shoelace before, you'll have your right leg extended with the left leg on top, or you'll have your right foot tucked under you. So the knee is as centered as it can be. Go ahead and lift the leg to start. Just make some circles with the hip. And then place the knee, left knee on right. Take any adjustments here. You need to find symmetry. So walk the feet wherever you need. You know where we're going. Perhaps the side's a little different. You have to have the lower leg extended. That's great. No problem. Do what's in your range. And when you're ready, just go ahead and start leaning into the arches of the feet. Using the heel of the hand and the weight of the body. Just walking up and down those feet. And then when you feel ready, go ahead and change the hand so the palm faces forward and you can lean into the outside of the calcaneus. It's actually the inferior, but go ahead and just lean in there, one side and then the other. All that connective tissue, giving it a little space. And then when you feel ready, leaning in with both sides and just start to press the heart forward. Tilting forward, just pressing the heart gently forward. And if you feel the hips coming off the block, that's the time to grab your pillow, place it on top of the legs, and then just let yourself come forward. And depending where you are, it might not feel like you're coming forward very much. That's okay. Just give support to wherever you're at. Don't go past your edge. And see if you can support all parts, so the torso as well as the head. Being bipedal, we use our feet a lot. And these feet, when they're connected to the ground, don't get a lot of light. Don't get to see the sunshine much. Just taking this time to really nourish and nurture what connects us and what holds us up. Taking just a few more breaths here. Wherever you're at, exhale completely. And then begin walking the hands back towards the shoulders. All the way up. Go ahead and lift the left leg off the right. And taking any movement you'd like here. So perhaps just windshield wipering the legs. And then we'll remove the block and come on back to our backs. You won't need any other props for these last poses, so you can set everything aside except for one bolster underneath your knees for Savasana. Go ahead and roll all the way back down onto the back. And find the middle line. We're just going to take a full body stretch. So inhale the hands up overhead. Point the toes, get nice and tall here. And we're going to make our way into a banana asana. So go ahead and take both feet over to the left. Walk your feet over to the left and then place the right ankle on top of the left. And then go ahead and clasp the right wrist and draw both hands over to the right. So you're in a crescent shape on your back or a banana shape on your back. Breathe in and see how you're opening the chain, the right side of the body. And then release the hold on the hands and place one palm inside the other. So you don't have to have an active hold, it's very passively holding all the pieces together. And in this banana, just as you inhale, noticing how there's a little bit of space being created between each rib. These little muscles that hold the ribs together, the intercostals, allow them to expand on the inhalation. Just taking about 5 more breaths here. So let each one be nice and expansive, feeling that space you're creating. And then you can very gently lift the right ankle off the left. Start walking the feet and the hands back to center. Once you find center, take that full body stretch, extending through the hands, pointing the toes. Perhaps taking a little movement there, flexing and extending the wrists and ankles. And then we'll walk both feet over to the right. Place the left foot over the right ankle. Walk the hands over to the right so you can clasp that left wrist and draw yourself over. And you don't want to pull yourself so over that the opposite butt cheek comes off the mat. So if you've done that, just back off a little bit. You just need a little crescent here. And then go ahead and relax the hold of the wrist. Let one palm rest inside the other. And going deeper in this pose simply by increasing the depth of the breath. Taking a few more breaths here. Keep expanding through the rib cage. Keep allowing the body to feel support. Notice where you're connected to the earth on the exhalation. And then to come out of the pose, just gently lift the left ankle, walk the feet towards center. Find symmetry in the middle, extend, point the toes, point the fingers, and then we're going to drop everything into a little seed, a little ball. So taking a fetal position on the back. And here just rocking a little side to side, noticing where the back touches the mat. Drawing the knees towards the chest to expand the lower back onto the mat. And then just pausing in the center and seeing if you can once again tune into the tail. Tune into the tailbone. Tune into that energetic area of the lowest chakra, the root. And you can once again take little circles with the knees if that helps you feel and locate that area of the body. And then start to make your way towards Savasana. So it really is nice to have a bolster underneath the knees. Taking the legs wide. Bolster's going to help bring a little bit of the curve out of the lower back. And then just like we did earlier, draw the shoulder blade one at a time up to the ear, place it down the back behind you, and then roll the arm open so the palm shines towards the ceiling. Other side, draw the shoulder blade up, down the back, and then roll the arm open. Allow the eyes to grow heavy. And then just gently tilt the chin towards the chest. Make sure there's not too much curve in the neck there, in the cervical spine. And with each exhalation, see if there's anything you can allow gravity to bring closer to connecting to the earth. I'm going to take you through a short guided relaxation. This is a process of auto-suggestion, so just silently repeat to yourself, following the sound of my voice. I relax my toes, the bottoms of my feet, and the tops of my feet. I release my toes and my feet to the support of earth. I relax my ankles, my calves, my shins, my knees. I release my ankles, my calves, my shins, my knees. to the support of earth. I relax my thighs, my hips, my pelvis, my tailbone. I release my thighs, my hips, my pelvis, my tailbone to the support of earth. I relax my sacrum, my lower back, and my belly. I release my sacrum, my lower back, and my belly to the support of earth. I relax my heart, my chest, my middle back. I release my heart, my chest, and my middle back to be supported by earth. I relax my shoulders, my upper arms, and my elbows. I release my shoulders, my upper arms, and my elbows to be supported by earth. I relax my lower arms, my wrists, my hands, and my fingers. I release my lower arms, my wrists, my hands, and my fingers to find the support of earth. I relax my neck, my head, my face. I release my head, my neck, my face to find the body supported by earth. Here in Savasana, if you'd like to stay in Savasana, stay as you are. If you feel compelled to awaken, go ahead and inhale a little bit deeper into the body. With each breath, bringing awareness back to the physical body, noticing that the mind rests at the place where the body touches the earth. Inhale, feel that expansiveness in the body as you notice the mind resting where the body is touching the earth. And if you feel ready, go ahead and extend the arms up overhead. Take that full body stretch again. And then roll either onto the right or the left side and use that arm as a pillow as you come into a fetal position. So just bending the knees, hugging the knees in, taking a moment there. And when you feel ready, pressing yourself up to find a seat. Remember, you don't have to go home from the studio after this. So you're welcome to take this opportunity to just stay as you are and enjoy this. If you found a comfortable seat, We'll seal class with the sound of Om. Join me if you wish, or just allow the vibration to move through you. First, exhaling all the stale air, and when you're ready, inhaling the hands up overhead. And then exhaling the hands in prayer back to the heart center, pressing the thumbs into the sternum. Oming together on the next exhalation. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide your practice this evening. It is always a pleasure to meet you on the mat. Namaste.